Well, g'day. There's two things that come to mind when I think about camping. The first thing is, where am I going to sleep? And the second thing is, what am I going to cook my dinner on? Well, I'm going to help you with one of those today, so stick around and let's talk about gas cookers. So when it comes to camp cooking, the good old gas camp cooker is tried and tested and works well. Sometimes you can't have a fire, sometimes you might not be ready for cooking on the fire. Maybe you're not good enough for cooking on the fire yet. There's always time. But let's have a look at gas cookers, because there's a few different ones out there and there's one that'll suit your needs. So the first one I'm going to talk about, maybe it's your first time going camping and you think, oh geez, I need a gas cooker to cook my dinner on. What do I buy? What's the best thing out there? Don't want to spend a heap of money. Well, let's have a look at the good old butane gas cooker. These things have been around for a little while now, and well, this is a double, but you can get a single one, which is obviously just half that size. These things are perfect for light travel. They're super light, easy, compact little things that you can fit anywhere in the back of your car. Even if you got a little Suzuki or something, these things are perfect. Super light, and they're easy to light. Your gas canister goes in there. You use these easy little butane gas canisters. They usually come in like a pack of 3 or 4, and they're like under 10 bucks. Super cheap. They're beauty because they're like a little paint can. They're easy to store in the car or in a bag in your drawers. You chuck them away in the recycling when you finish with them once they're empty. So they're nice and easy. And they just sit in there. They've got a little slot that lines them up, so there's not too much that can go wrong there. Just make sure you lock them in properly. Once they're locked in, you just basically turn around. They've got their own igniter and you're away. You're cooking with gas. There are a couple of downsides though. It's too good to be true, I know. The downsides I find with these gas cookers is they don't get hot enough. While they do serve a purpose, they are cheap and light, and the gas is easy to get a hold of everywhere. I find they don't get super hot, so it takes a long time to cook anything. It takes a long time to boil your water, which means you burn through a lot of gas. So you're constantly changing those little gas bottles over all the time. So you're sort of not quite sure. Well, I've always found it's not 100% sure how much gas to take with you as a backup, because you're going to get burned through it pretty quick. And the other problem that I have with them, last time I went away, it was quite cold in the mornings, and the little gas bottles wouldn't put any gas out when they're cold. They were like freezing in the thing, so we had to stop and pull them out, warm them up, get the ice off it, put it back in and get it going again, and the flame kept dying down. So they're a bit temperamental, those bottles. So, but overall, for an entry-level camping stove, they do the trick. Nice, light, cheap. You can pick these up. I'm sure these double ones you can pick up for about 120 bucks, something like that. And the single ones are around 50 bucks. Shop around, you can probably get them pretty cheap, but good entry level cooker. Once you've battled with the butane cookers for a few years and you realise that it's time to step up, we're going to take camping to the next level. It's time to get serious. We're going to buy a proper cooker. Anaconda or BCF are having a sale. We're going to go and get a gas cooker. So the next thing would be an LPG gas cooker like this. These have been around for a long time. Most of them are sort of 2 burners. You can get ones with little grill trays underneath now, but this is a very basic thing that's been around for a long time. Simple on-off knobs with, you know, your volume there. I'm going to call it volume for your flame temp. These things get a lot hotter with LPG, so you're going to use a lot less gas because your cooking time is going to be halved compared to, say, that butane one that we talked about. These pack up fairly light too. They fold down, and you can just store your gas hose in underneath there like that. And the only downside to these is you've got to carry a LPG tank with you. Now there's a few different sizes, so depending on your storage and what sort of capacity you've got, you can carry a larger one, or you maybe have to go down to a quite small one, but they don't use as much gas as the butane ones, so you know you will get a lot longer burn time out of them. So they have a bit more control with your flame, so you know you've got a bit more control over your heat then when you're cooking on them, so there is that advantage to them too. So bit dearer. Shop around, they do have varying price depending on the brand. Some better brands are going to be you know close to that $200 mark, but you can get them between 100 and 200, maybe a bit less if you get a cheaper brand, but just shop around. But overall they are a good stove, but just be aware you do have to carry that big gas bottle with you, and then you have to look at refilling your gas bottle. Make sure your gas bottle's in date, and you also remember when you're traveling with a gas bottle, you've got to make sure you got that bung, the safety bung in there too. So there's a couple of extra things to think about when you're using this stove. Alright, the third one we're going to talk about is brand specific, however it is fairly new on the scene, and Merry Christmas to me, I got one and it's pretty good, so I thought I'd share it with you and let you have a look. So it's obviously the Jetboil, their new camp stove. So this one is really good. I've been really impressed with how good this burner is. So it packs up really small too, into like a round bag, so it's got a fairly small pack up. Now this one runs on propane gas, so you got these little propane bottles. Now I absolutely love that because once again you got a small gas bottle that you can carry in your car, so you don't have that big LPG tank, and the beauty of it is it doubles. My hot water shower uses the same gas, so I've got gas bottles for both, that way I've got backup, and it makes sense to use the same gas source for both things, so that is a win. They're fairly cheap to buy. The only thing that I'm not sure on is our disposal of those. I did talk about that in my shower review that use that gas bottle. I'm not sure how you dispose of that, whether they, once they're empty, you've got to take them to the tip like, you know, an empty gas bottle, and you know, recycle them properly. We'll look into that. But beauty, great little gas setup with that. These have got their own lighter too, so once you turn your gas on, they got their own igniter, so you don't have to carry matches and stuff. And the one thing that I absolutely love, apart from the gas bottle, is how much control you've got on the flame. It's there's so much control there. It just makes cooking so easy when you can control the flame. You're not fighting, you know, that on or off stage. You can have it really low, or you can build it right up. So really good stove. There's a windbreak there, which is an absolute nightmare to get in place. However, it does work well when it's there. But it all packs up really neat into that little bag. So they are a little bit expensive. However, really good bit of kit. They are a good quality camp oven, stove. There is a couple of downsides that I've found, and one of them happens to be, the one thing that I love on this is the gas bottle. It's the same thing as the downfall. I must spend about 5 minutes trying to get the stupid thread to wind onto that gas bottle because it's so fine and it's on a weird angle, which I don't understand why this sits on a weird angle like that. But it is a bit fiddly to get the gas bottle on, so that's probably my biggest downer. It's only minor, but I do struggle with it a bit, and I get a bit cranky trying to get the gas bottle on there when you're trying to make a coffee or something like that. Get the water on the boil, you know. And the other downer is this pot and this lid, plastic lid. So I've used this plastic lid a few times on the fry pan, and it has melted when I've been cooking on there. So great idea, but probably needs to be thought out a little bit better. I can understand, you know, the saving weight, and you know, maybe at low temperatures it works well, but when you get it a bit hotter, I did melt that plastic lid. And these plastic handles, I forgot to open them up one day and melted them, so that was a bit of a bad one on my fault. But you know, I can see why they're made the way they are, but there's probably a bit of a design flaw. It was a simple mistake, and it's wrecked the handle. So there's a couple of little minor things that aren't great, but overall that was down to my fault. But really good stove. Well, there you go. That's just 3 gas cookers that you can grab for your next camping trip. Maybe it's your first time, or you're ready to upgrade to something a little bit better. Hey, there's nothing wrong with a few bangers in the fry pan over the butane cooker too. But look, check them out. Leave us a comment if you have a preference for your gas cooking. Everyone's different, everyone's got a different sort of setup. Send us a photo so we can see what you're using. Hopefully this can help you choose the next gas cooker for you. You know a little bit more hopefully when you're having a look, if it's your first time and you're going down to the camping store to buy one. Check it out. But look, thanks for watching, we do appreciate it. If it's your first time, don't forget to subscribe so that you can see more videos, and don't forget to give us a thumbs up because that helps share this to other people. And stick around for more helpful tips and reviews and different things like that. And remember that the weeks are long but the weekends are really short, so chase after the weekend. Catch ya.